And there we are. Well, today is going to be about a magical day, and I'm about to have a magical day because my son is heading off to play his very first soccer match over today in Kenmare in County Kerry. So that's what my whole day is going to be made up of. But yesterday was quite magical because, as I said, the three ladies were away. June and the two girls were off in Tralee, and we were hanging out here. So we had a nice day yesterday, and then they all came home for some lovely homemade pizza night, and then no sound, Maria. No, I can hear it on my phone, so the sound is going, and I'm getting that bar as well showing me. So turn up the volume on your phone and see, Marie, if that could be it. Picture no sound for you. Hang on, I can hear. Turn up the volume on your phone. I can hear it coming through. Picture no sound. Well, no, look, I can see it coming through, and I can hear it. So I'm going to keep going. Can anybody else tell me if they're able? Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Good stuff. It just worked itself out. Okay, cool. Anyway, guys, so yesterday I already had a magic day. I was thinking about the magic day practice earlier on, and I think a lot of what we did yesterday, where you are making all your wishes come true, it's similar, or the magic dust, or that if anything comes up like day 7, you'll magic the negativity out. You know, that I think a lot of it is starting to kind of overlap into itself, which is brilliant. It just, anything that's keeping you in a grateful gratitude state is the way to go. So let's get right into it. She starts off the magical day practice with a quote by Deepak Chopra, and it says, "Intentions compressed into words enfold magical powers." So intentions compressed into words enfold magical powers. I remember hearing one time how our tongues are like rudders, steering our big ship. You know, so if you think about a ship that leaves the harbour here in Portmagee, I suppose we don't have ships that big that pull out of the harbour here and head across the Atlantic, but maybe from Phoenix or Foynes or somewhere like that, they're enormous ships carrying hundreds of tons of cargo, and they're heading across the Atlantic or heading down south to South Africa or up to North Africa or whatever. But the rudder that steers them and gets them on course is quite small in proportion to the size of the great ships that we have nowadays. And our tongues are like that. They're our words and our tongues and how we speak about opportunities and how we speak in our inner dialogue is directing the course of our great ships and our great journeys as well. So that's an interesting quote by Deepak Chopra. Intentions. So it is my intention, and I've compressed it into words. They unfold as magical powers. You'll hear that person who goes, "I'm going to do this now, you'll see," and they don't do it, and that becomes a habit, and that is their paradigm. That becomes whatever they're doing is compressing itself into words, and it's unfolding not its magical powers, but it is unfolding its powers consistently. Now, it's not magical because it's not creating, but whatever it is consistent. So that's, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you say, because both or either one will start to come true. So I would say somebody who does that, who repeatedly says I'm going to lose weight now after Christmas, or I'm going to, this is the year now I'm going to get an extra 10 grand into my income. 2022, that's when I'm going to do it, or I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to do it. They're compressing words and unfolding a magical power of repetitive failures, repetitive trying and failing. The intention at the beginning of it is, I think, a key part of that quote here. Intentions compressed into words. So I think people need to get very clear on their intentions first before they start affirming for it. When people join our academy, we spend a week or 2 weeks going over the goal, because your goal has to be made up of wants. And I know at the beginning when people are doing it, they're doing it on a very superficial kind of a level. And it's just, I better tick that box and I better get a goal so I can move on to the rest of the program. But I'm very clear to say, no, you've got to love this goal. It's got to jump. I mean, when I read your goal, you've got to sell it to me, because if you're not selling it to me, you haven't sold it to yourself. Think about a time you bought something from a very good salesperson and you probably thought they were just a nice person and we had a conversation, but they actually were doing the best type of selling there is. They're really caring for you on a subconscious level. It's like, is this the car for Maria and her family? Is this the car for Linda and her family? If it is, then they'll think about you buying that car. You'll feel that, and you'll make your decision on your own. But if it's like, look, now it'll be gone tomorrow. I'm going to need a 500 euro deposit. That'll be gone tomorrow. And that's like coercion. It's not, it doesn't feel right. And perhaps even it'll take you a while to warm up to the car, in fact. So when your intentions are compressed into your words, when you say deep inside, this is what I'm going to do now, and compress it into words for yourself. I think if you are going on a journey of especially self-discipline, I would keep it very private, actually, because it can sometimes set us up for a bit of a fall if we go telling everybody, because it puts a new type of unproductive pressure on you. It's like, I have to do it now because I told Maura. I have to do it now because I've told Bernie. No, it's like you have to do it because you've told yourself you're going to do it. So you get your intentions clear inside and you compress it into words of affirmation. Like, this time, in the month of June, I will weigh 1 stone less than I do now. Or I look forward to the 1st of March to going to my nephew's birthday and saying, do you know what today is? No, I'm 3 months off the cigarettes today. Get your intentions clear inside, compress them into words, and then unfold magical powers. So anyway, look, that I didn't get sidetracked. I think it's an important lesson. Your intention is very powerful. And your words then will manifest your intentions. Okay, so Rhonda Byrne goes on to say, to see and experience the most magical day of your life, you can be grateful the whole day before you even live it. To have a magical day, you simply think through your plans for the day and say the magical words, thank you, for each one of them going well, before you've lived it. It's the easiest thing to do. It only takes a few minutes, but the difference it can make to your day is incredible. Being grateful for your day beforehand creates a magical day through the law of attraction. When you give thanks for the experiences in your day going well, you must receive back experiences going well. If you don't believe you have the magical power to affect the circumstances of your day so dramatically, think about a time when you woke up in a grumpy or bad mood and you went off throughout the day. One thing after another went wrong until by the end of the day you were exclaiming that you had a heck of a bad day, as though the bad day happened by accident. Well, the only reason you had a bad day was you took your bad mood from the morning with you, and it was your bad mood that was the cause of one thing after another going wrong. Even waking up in a bad mood doesn't happen by accident, because it means that you went to sleep probably thinking negatively about something, perhaps without even realizing it. It's the very reason why you're doing the magic rock practice last thing at night, to ensure you're going to sleep thinking good thoughts. The magic rock practice at night, combined with counting your blessings in the morning, sets up a good mood for you at night and in the morning, and they guarantee that you are feeling good before you go off into your day. To have a magical day, to feel good, I don't know of anything other than gratitude that guarantees that you put yourself in a good mood every day instantly. That paragraph there, those last probably 30 words or whatever, that's where it's all at. To have every day a magical day. I don't know of any other thing than gratitude that can instantly guarantee that you put yourself in a good mood almost instantly. So in our house, we have a snag list at the moment. One of them is that we have this beautiful corner of glass that looks out at Portmagee from our home in Valencia. So it's on, like, we don't have a lot of artwork on our walls yet. We will be putting up some. We've purchased some, and I was gifted a beautiful piece by a wonderful artist called Susan in Tipperary. I've a bid in for another one for a charity auction for a worthy cause. It's a place called St. Francis Special School in St. Mary the Angels in Beaufort. So I'm the highest bidder at the moment for a painting. I hope it's outbid 100 times so that it goes up and up and up. But I'm the highest bidder at the moment for a beautiful painting, and they'll be going up there. But at the moment, the big glass windows are like works of art. They frame a beautiful landscape. And that's what I think of when I look at it. Whereas the odd time, my wife thinks of the fact that the rubber seal on the inside of the window has come out and it's hanging on a hook here in the back of the utility room. Because Munster Joinery will be coming back soon to do our windows for my new office, and then we're gonna get them to come in and do the reseal. So I've put the seal back several times, but it's just the gap is too wide and the seal keeps falling out. There's no draft or anything coming in. It literally looks like something that's there for the aesthetics. So that's not to say she's negative, I'm positive, or anything like that. It's just I practiced a little bit more. And what I think of when I look at that corner of the window, I think of, and also somebody came along and there was dirt on the window, and instead of wiping it off with a wet cloth, they've been scraping it, and they've actually scraped some of the window as well. So you can look down at that corner and you can see a few little scratches, like Catwoman went like that with her 4 fingers and put a scratch. Or you can look past the scratch and past the rubber seal and see how beautiful the view is. Look at all the different types of greens on the fields, because the different farmers are tending for the soil in different ways. Look at those seagulls swooping. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the lads out getting their shrimp in the morning, and they're hard workers. You can look through the glass and not see the seal and the scratches. So this is just a small example of what she says here. I don't feel of anything other than gratitude that guarantees to put you in a good mood instantly. People like I remember Tony Robbins talking about it. He goes, "We're being shuttled through the air at 500 miles an hour. We're sitting in wonderful seats. We've probably got luggage in our bag somewhere. We're probably heading off to do something pretty nice. Most people are in the plane. They're bringing us food and drinks. We've got a toilet we can use. And people are complaining about, this has only been going on for about 70 or 80 years, commercial flights, maybe less. And people are complaining about the quality of the Wi-Fi now on board." He was like, how far we've come for people to be able to find negativity in such an unbelievable industry. You can go anywhere. Like, I know there has been some restrictions the last while, but you can pretty much take your physical body anywhere. Do you remember those movies we used to watch about the people sailing across the Atlantic and discovering the lost worlds? Those old swashbuckler movies. What a hardship it was to leave Ireland. Even I know one lady, she's probably in her mid-50s, early 50s, and I remember when she decided to do nursing in England, we were all crying, saying goodbye to her, because you wouldn't see her. She was our neighbour. The whole street was like all upset, and it was another one gone to England, lost and gone. And sure, now you'd fly over for a match and you fly back the next day, and it's 1999. Ryanair, God bless them. So it's so easy to look at the gratitude, and I know you're all finding it much easier to find the gratitude within. Like, we're really conscious, even before I'm back into this in a big way now. We've got 3 lovely little children who are very, very grateful for things, and we found ourselves saying, there'd be multiple types of cereal, and the chocolate cereal's gone, it's not fair. And we don't go, what about, my father used to say, what about, in the 80s, what about the children in Ethiopia? Cop on to yourself. That was his one. But for ourselves, we look at it in a certain way as well, and we would just have a little discussion with, kids, you are really lucky to have a bowl, a kitchen, to have a pantry like that with multiple choices of cereal. And they go, okay, you're right, Dad. There's a way about doing it, It's important, but it's important we get them doing it from an early age. And I know you don't even need a magic book with pens and paper. As you're going to school in the morning, if you're in a car, you turn off the radio and just say, let's say it's Padraig and Mary and Sheila, right? The 3 children. It's like, right, Padraig, tell me one thing you're grateful for now. What was the best thing that happened this weekend? And then you say, playing soccer with my friends. So, what are we doing this for? Like, you listen to that Declan fella. Oh, that's if they're teenagers. And then say, come on, just do it. And it's like, okay, playing with my friends. Why was that good? Well, because of this and because of that. And, there was a fella came up to me one night in the Moorings restaurant, and he was fairly well oiled, as they say. He had a good few scoops inside him. And he came up and he goes, Declan, come here to me. He says, when we were teenagers, you always said, school is the best days of our life. And everybody said, you shut up about it. But you were dead right. He said, we went out there in the morning. We met our friends. We had our lunch. We played soccer. We were throwing things at the back of the class. We were having all the best stories. You're hanging out with your friends. There's no bills. There's a hot meal waiting for you when you go home. And then we'd throw the bags in the corner and we'd head out and we'd play soccer again for 3 more hours. And then we'd meet at the weekends and we'd play. He goes, you were dead right. You were dead right. And I thought it was funny because I actually had remembered saying that and being like totally ridiculed. It's like, what are you on about? School is crap. I can't wait to be older and have a car and have a, drinking and all that. But now that we have all that stuff, you're like, God, they were the best days, weren't they? Especially now when I have my own children and I watch them just like, let's meet, let's play. Yes, let's play. We would play all weekend. Okay, let's play. So they are the best days. But look, we can encourage that back and get them to, it's probably easier on a one-to-one as well to start drip feeding a little bit of raising the awareness about gratitude. I saw a woman really confused one day at Super Value a few years ago in Carsavine because the lads went paying for their shopping with Apple Pay. And I I hadn't seen it either. Like, I'm a little bit falling behind. Someone's like, they're like, Revolut that to me, and I do have a card just because I don't want to be left behind in any way. I don't want. I'm 41 now, like, and I turned the corner there last year. It's like someone's like, I'll Revolut you. I was like, if I don't understand what that means, I need to find out. I can't be left behind. So you're moving with the times, and I saw this lady really struggling, that the fellas were holding their phone and paying for stuff, and she was like, it's gone through. And they're like, yeah, I mean, Apple Pay, your Facebook Pay. And she was like, oh God, boys, will you put cash in your pockets, please? And don't be getting involved with that stuff. But I looked at it, and it was like that Harry Styles song, it's a sign of the times. I was like, flipping hell, that's it. That's just it. To them, that's the most normal thing. But if they're, for maybe the next generation, if the tablet is slow, or if it's not working, there could be a lot of frustration around things that, like, I remember going to the phone box and picking up the smoky receiver that, probably would be heavily infected or whatever it was. It didn't do us any harm, really. Didn't kill us. Pick up the phone. Yeah, the person who had this before me was smoking. And then you put in your 10 pence or your 50 pence, and I think that's just incomprehensible, I suppose, for some generations now. So we really, really, really can be very, 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 very grateful all of the time. I'll tell you one thing, if you're looking for something to be grateful for, go up into your attic and start looking at all the stuff you've up there, all the possessions you have. And we were in Galway at the weekend, and not this weekend now, the last weekend, we went in on the Saturday, and there's a gentleman, and it's I lived in Galway from 2008 to 2013, and there's a gentleman who was living on the streets then, and he's still there today. I met him walking down the laneway from Easton there, heading down towards another street at the back, because we were coming up to the Galway market. And I met him, and I said hello, because my first acupuncture clinic was just around the corner from there. And I met him. I'm pretty good with faces, but I was like, God Almighty, he's still around, like, that's incredible. He's carrying all of his possessions in a bag for life type bag. And think of all the stuff you have in your attic. Think of all the stuff you have in your shed. We talked about magic money is always coming to me a week ago. When you start noticing what you have, I know it escalates, and you keep thinking then. So the people who are not really doing it to that level that you are, they're the people that can easily slip into bed and fall asleep at night thinking negatively about something that didn't go well. And I think we all know that the negatives can outweigh the positives. Let's say if you're at a family event and you've had, you arrive, and they say, no, the bride and groom are after buying a drink, or let's say it's Johnny's 50th, Johnny's had a drink there for everyone, and you're catching up with cousins, and you're having a nice time and whatever. You could be having a lovely time. So many laughs that your cheekbones are sore. You're having a great old time, and then a scuffle might break out, or somebody might have a disagreement, or somebody might get a bit narky and say something to you that upsets you. That one little, it's like putting a little drop of black ink into a lovely little beaker of white paint. You stir it around, it'll never be white paint again. It's kind of tainted a bit, Well, honest to God, guys, when you study mindset every day, when you work, like we have people now, tomorrow morning is Monday, and they'll be getting up at 6 a.m. for our 6 a.m. club. So they have an hour of proper good study. They're either reading a very important article, they're writing out their goal, they're watching a video by Bob Proctor and writing out their worksheet for the day. They're setting themselves up for a positive mindset before 7 a.m. every day. And then there's other things that they will do throughout the day, because they're also probably doing the magic practice. So that's 2 hours of mindset a day that they're giving themselves. These are the people that, if they're at that party and Grumpy Johnny comes along and gives them a bit of crap, they'll go, oh, sure, look, don't worry about him, he's had a few drinks. And honestly, they can just, what's it from Frozen? They can let it go, let it go. They can let it go. I can let it go. Now, I do find myself the odd time, especially if it was like a very scary thing, or a traumatic thing, or an aggressive thing, I can find myself sometimes having little flashbacks, and that's okay, that's normal. But just having that ability to go, well, I'm so grateful that I'm here now. I'm so grateful that this happened. I'm so grateful that I forgive them. I'm so grateful that I was forgiven. I'm so grateful that I've moved on. I'm so, you can find the gratitude in those little flashback memories that can hurt sometimes. Even waking up in a bad mood doesn't happen by accident. It's because it means you went to sleep thinking negatively. So even though we're thinking positively, you will have those, it's like you're teetering between your old way of being and your new way of being. So you'll still find yourself falling back into negativity at times. I know most people who are watching this are 21 plus VAT, you know. So think about it, like from when you were 5 or 6 years of age, you've got well-worn paths in your mindset now. Your habitual patterns, your habitual ways of dealing with things are very well worn in your mind and in your heart. Your thinking mind and your emotional mind, you know, you are comfortable with getting angry, you're comfortable with getting bitter, you're comfortable with getting resentful, you're comfortable with getting fearful. I know it's a strange way of putting it, but these habits are not helping you, but they're kind of yours at the moment because you've practiced them for so long. So with 14 days of gratitude, the reason you're all feeling better is you're kind of, you know, you're raking over the old paths and you're carving out a new path for you to walk, where regardless what happens, I've made a committed decision now that after these 28 days and during these 28 days, I'm going to see the world with completely different tinted glasses now. I'm going to see the opportunity for something good to happen out of a sad situation. Um, I'm going to be grateful for something, even if for the last 25 years, I typically would have worried, been scared, been angry, been resentful, been guilty, been bitter, been inauthentic. You know, yeah, of course, it's no problem. Come on, sure, you'll have a great time. Me inside going, oh my God, I wish I didn't say yes to that. I wish I didn't say yes to that. You'll change all of that when you go, look, I'm uncomfortable about it, but I'm grateful that someone does want to come over for, you know, to come to stay in our house for the weekend. I'm grateful that I've been asked to go out for this dinner with a bunch of people because I'm a bit uncomfortable now going out for dinner after a few years. You know, social anxiety or whatever. So you will learn to feel the fear and do it anyway. It's hard to be in fear and in gratitude. It's hard to be in guilt and in gratitude. It's hard to be in resentment and in gratitude. I'd say it's impossible, like oil and water. And I would say if you still feel that it's not impossible, that maybe are you really letting this gratitude in? Are you really closing your eyes and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you? Are you saying it that deep? Are you getting really into it? So whatever your plans are for today, whether it's traveling, yes, meeting people, yes, work project, no, lunch, yes, exercise, yes, playing a sport, yes. So what are your plans for today? Whatever you're doing, buying groceries, cleaning your house, getting the uniforms ready for tomorrow. That could be a chore. Like I did all the uniforms yesterday. They were all hanging on the line. They're in now. But that's a good feeling to be ahead of yourself. Like we've 3 children, so there's a good few jumpers and shirts and tracksuits out on the line yesterday done. To be dried now today, ready for the morning. So I wouldn't look at that as a chore at all. I'd say, aren't I so lucky that I have 3 of them going to school and they're healthy, thank God, and they're good at school. And we have money to buy those uniforms and stuff like that. So whatever your plans are for today, for the day, if you're a person who writes down daily lists, maybe, or things that you need to do, you can go through the list and be grateful for them before they've even happened, for each one having gone so well. Whether you do magical practice in your mind or on paper, the most important thing is that you feel the result of each plan or activity, and you'll see that it was the best that it could have been. When you use gratitude ahead of time, have a magical day. I don't know. It wipes out unexpected problems or difficulties before they happen. The more you use this magical practice, the better your days will become. And from the smallest thing to the important things, everything starts going well in your life. The bumpy days smooth out. Instead of frustrating or troublesome things happening in your day, the day starts to have a magical flow about them. And things seem to magically go your way with less effort, no worry, no stress, and far, far, far more joy. When I first began to use gratitude, says Rhonda, and to have a magical day, I chose to give thanks ahead of time for the events in my day that I didn't enjoy doing very much. That's a good one. One of these things was going to the supermarket, and at the beginning of the day, I said the magic words, thank you for the easy and joyful trip to the supermarket. I had no idea how a trip to the supermarket could be easy and joyful, but I felt it as much gratitude for that outcome as I could. There's a movie called The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, and it's worth a look. It was an experiment. It's obviously a fictional thing, but it's this there's this big dome, and all these actors come in and out of this dome. But to Jim Carrey, it's his life. It's the real world. But there's cameras everywhere. There's cameras in the Sugar Bowl. There's cameras everywhere watching him. So he was born to be the star of the Truman Show, and in pubs in New York and everything, like they're all looking up at Truman and what's happening. It's a very interesting concept, but it's sickeningly sweet how amazingly helpful everybody is. Morning, Truman. Morning, Truman. And I say that sometimes, people would say, Declan, everything seems to be going well. Like I'm getting compliments. I mean, I got money off this thing. It's mad. I'm winning things. People are giving me things. Like, what's happening? And it's just, we hear about the law of attraction. Well, the law of attraction is secondary. The law of vibration is primary. So just like the old Beach Boys said, this book puts you in a good vibration, and the work puts you in a good vibration. And it's almost like perception of the world changes. So Jim Carrey's character Truman, can't think of his surname, but Truman's, or was it Harry Truman? No. Anyway, Truman is his first name, I think. But Truman is seeing the world through these pretty happy, and then he starts to doubt himself, and he's longing for somebody he met one time, and so it's really, really interesting. It does show a very powerful. It's a very powerful program, a movie in discussion about that thing we call perception, how we perceive things, and the way we perceive things can change. It's very good for you. So I remember sometimes like deleting a particular app or something like that, and all of a sudden it was almost like being woken up from a hypnotic trance. It's almost like when that's gone now, you're not looking at it anymore. So all of a sudden you have this time to do other stuff, and eventually that goes away and you start to change. If you think about somebody who they start juicing cucumbers and broccoli, and then they're looking great, and then you just got to do it. And it's like, I got a toothache. You should juice cucumber and broccoli for that. There's plaster coming off the wall. Do you know what's good for that? Cucumber and broccoli. When somebody gets into a diet, they're like, you have to do it. Or when someone gets into personal development, you've got to read this book. It's going to change your life. So our perception is like that this is the be all and end all, and we're getting into all that. And then that can be a fad, or it can go, or it can stay as your life. But whatever you do, whatever your undertakings are, gratitude it goes with everything. Gratitude goes with everything. The bad times, the good times, the planning your day, the closing out of your day, the mundane tasks and the exciting tasks. If I don't believe I'll be going for an interview ever again for anything. Hopefully an interview for like my book or something with Tuberty or whatever. But no, an actual interview where I have to impress someone and get a job or something. But if I would sit out there and I'd be giving such gratitude that the best person got the job. The person that deserves it the most gets this job. I really want it, but I want you to make sure the person that wants this the most, the person that's the absolute best fit, gets this job. And that's what I would do. I would send gratitude into that room, and then probably have a good performance myself, and as you would if you did it too. The gratitude would still you and calm you and help you to be the real you in that interview room. When you use gratitude ahead of time to have a magical day, it wipes out the unexpected problems or difficulties before they happen. The more you use this magical practice, the better your days will become. And from the smallest thing to the important things, everything starts to go well in your life. The bumpy old days smooth out instead of frustrating or troublesome things happening in your day. And your days start to have a magical flow about them. All things seem to magically go your way with less effort, no worry, no stress, and far more joy. So let's go and have a look at this practice. So you can use many superlatives as you like to help you to feel more grateful about your day. Thank you for the incredibly successful meeting. Thank you for the amazing outcome of that phone call. Thank you for one of the best days ever at work. Thank you for the thrilling sports game. Thank you for the effortless and fun day of cleaning. Thank you for the great night out with my friends. Thank you for the relaxing day of travel. Thank you for the amazing energy. So my day will be, thank you for the fun we're going to have driving from here to Kenmare for the soccer match. Thank you for the wonderful conditions standing at the sideline, that it's not going to be raining or cold or windy. It'll just be a lovely, so it looks like a nice, the sea out there is like a sheet of glass, lovely and calm. So hopefully you won't have a showery all day. Thank you for a wonderful game, that both teams play a great game and that they get on really well. I'll have my own special intentions that hopefully Dylan will really enjoy himself and play well and come off the field feeling like he's had a good game. So this magical practice, and then so then I'm going to be grateful for the lunch we're going to have. I'm going to be grateful for just the travel conditions will be nice. I won't be stuck behind tractors and buses and caravans and stuff like that. So then looking forward to a great evening at home, watching Liverpool and West Ham, and we're putting on a lovely meal in the slow cooker this morning. So we're actually going to do it as a team, prepare it, put it in the slow cooker, head off, and then have a beautiful meal this evening, and then get ready for another great day of work and school tomorrow. So that's me scanning ahead of my day, but I'm grateful I've done it. I've done it already, but you know how yours is going to go. After you've finished using the magical power for every task today, say thank you for them coming to me today. Without fail, every single morning when I finish using the gratitude to have a magical day, I give thanks for great news that's coming to me. As a result, I've never received so much great news in my entire life. One week after another, one day after another, great news pours in. Every time I receive another piece of great news, I'm especially grateful and excited because I know I use gratitude's magical power to bring it in. And even then, more great news continues to come in. My affirmation for years when I didn't have any money, I had debt. It used to be Bob's one. Bob Proctor has an affirmation on YouTube, and it says, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. So I spoke to a lovely guy called Sean last week, and he mentioned about being an affiliate with a company, and I was like, oh, I am as well. And I remember the last time I checked the ledger, there was about 700 quid in there that is still in there. And I mean, a few years ago, at Christmas time, we have a pink. I could go out there and show you. Even if you watch back yesterday's video, there's a shelf behind me. You'll probably see a round pink money. What do they call it? A money box or a piggy bank. My sister bought it for us, and it's like the baby fund or something. Before we had a baby, it was like baby fund. It was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, and we fill it all the time. Like change out of your pocket and fill it. And there's always about 180 to 200 euros in it at the end of the year. And I would take that to SuperValu. There's a counting machine, and I'd go first thing in the morning, so not too many would see you. And I'd pour the bag of money in, and it would sort it out. And there'd be a few drachma and a few buttons and things at the bottom that it would reject. But you'd have about 100, and you'd take your receipt up then, and you'd go to the till, and you'd go home with that money. And I'd say, look, there's some extra money there for the presents for Christmas time. And now I would say I'm just living the proof of that affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. So I would get a notification saying from Stripe, an email once or twice a day, an email from Stripe telling me that someone's made a payment, or some other things I'm involved in, a booking for an Airbnb or whatever. You get an email. So these emails represent money coming from multiple sources on a continuous basis. And I promise you, when I did this initially, I could hear a very loud voice in my head going, bullshit, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. That's a lot of crap. All that stuff was going on in my head too, but I preferred to buy into the outcomes that it would bring if it worked. And that's what 99.9% of people don't do. I tried that, it doesn't work. You didn't try it at all. You read a book or you watched a video once, but you didn't try it full time. And that's the problem. You got to be fully committed to this work, because you're fully committed to the results you don't want. You're giving them everything. You've got to give this at least an hour a day. And if you're not, then you deserve the results that you're currently getting. And that doesn't mean to be harsh, but that's how it works. I love the skeptics because I know exactly how little work they're putting into their mindset every day, and I pay them no attention, none whatsoever, because if they have the time to comment on a Facebook post with some skepticism and they have time to research or write out their goal, or they have time to buy somebody online and ship it to someone and cheer up their day. They have time to, if they can spend that time being negative, I know they're not spending that time being positive. So that's how it goes, guys. That's how it goes. Okay, so magical practice day number 14. Count your blessings. Make a list of 10 blessings of why you're grateful. Reread your list, and at the end of them all, say thank you, thank you, thank you. In the morning, work your way in your mind throughout the plans you have for this day and for this evening, right up until your bedtime. With each plan or event, say the magical words, thank you, for having it done well. So when the children are asleep, I'm thinking thank you for June and I getting out the lunch boxes, the bottles, making sure their school bags are ready, getting everything pretty much ready. So it's a case of make the fresh lunch in the morning, breakfast, teeth, into the car, out we go, vitamins, away we go. I'm already thinking about that moment tonight. That's nice mom and dad time. They're gone to bed. We'll, maybe watch something. We watched some McCallum's Kicks last night. It was funny. Our friend Bernard is in that, Bernard Casey. So it's nice to see him on the big screen in our house. So we'll be doing that tonight when they're gone to bed. The lighting goes down. There'll be candles and lamps and nice little mom and dad time, chilling out on our own. So I'm looking forward to that. That's kind of the twilight of the day, then heading into bedtime. So yeah, think about your end of the day and be grateful for it from now. Number 3, after you finish being grateful for all the plans in your day going brilliantly well, end this magical practice by saying, and thank you for the great news that's coming to me today. This is the only part that I'd forgotten about, probably of the whole book. Thank you for the great news that's coming to me today. Just before you go to sleep tonight, hold your magic rock in one hand, say the magical words, thank you for the best thing that happened to me during the day. And my friends, that means we have just gone through the halfway mark of this challenge. Isn't that pretty flippin' awesome? All right, I'm going to read over here. It says, so Maria said their GA match is in the senior final. Who's the team, Maria, that are in the senior final? Michael, I'll be heading out for a cycle soon. I am grateful for having a great bike to go on. Yeah. I'm not the best winter cycler, but I must. I've got some extra time now to do that stuff. So I might do a little bit. Ruth, good morning, Ruth. I'm so grateful for this beautiful morning. Ruth, I'm grateful for that wonderful performance I got to see you doing in Rome. It was just amazing. You're so talented. And I can't wait to go back again. Claudia, how are you, my dear helicopter buddy? I think we have to wait till flipping next year now. Claudia won a competition to go up in a helicopter with yours truly. And we were going to go a few weeks ago and it got cancelled. So, but you know what? I look at it as, I remember one time somebody was like, I'm either going to kiss you or I'm going to puke. And I was like, why? Because they said was, I feel sad going now. They've been here for a few days and they were going home. And I said, look, the minute you drive up that yard, you're 1 minute closer to coming back here again. And she was like, I don't know if I'm going to kiss you or if I'm going to puke. But it's true. It's like, we're going to be going on holidays next week. And when we come home and we land and we're a little bit browner than the other, than when we left, we're 1 day closer to going back again. You just have to look at the positives, guys. Claudia says, happy Sunday. I lived in Galway from 2007 to 13 and spent a year in Athenry. Do you know what? Yeah. I wonder how many times our paths crossed. Well, I'm pretty good with faces, so I must study your picture here now, Claudia. We were walking the other day. I brought the children to show them the house that we had stayed in. I'll show you the picture here on my phone. Stop crying now, it's the sun. I've got flipping your man's song in my head. What's his name? Harry Styles. Just got into my head yesterday. Okay, so this is it. Like this is me and the children outside the house that we were living in, and there was an English lady. That's a week ago. Yesterday, I think I took that picture. So that was Layla's bedroom. That was the spare bedroom, and that was the kitchen down, the sitting room down there, and in the back of that sitting room is where I first saw Bob Proctor. I really, it's a mad story. I feel like Gollum in the Lord of the Rings. It's like my precious. It's like the house. It's like, will I buy the house? So that girl, every morning there was a real, I just remember looking at her going, flipping hell, like her children looked like Billy Barry children, the Billy Barry kids. They just like, they're heading up to school all smiley, these kind of red coats with these velvet black collars, I mean, like picture perfect family. And she's like, every morning she was just like, good morning. And this air would go out from her mouth and shiny skin. And I was like, good morning. I was like Bridget Jones. Like June was gone to school, happy as did Larry. But there was I wasn't as accomplished then at now it's beautiful. It's like the Pied Piper. We just get out into the lovely clean car. The lunch boxes are done. Everybody's ready. 10 to 9, we're driving out of here. But then I was a little bit chaotic. This was pre-personal development, Declan. I was like, right, okay. If you've seen a series on BBC, I think it's called Motherland. I was the male Motherland. Watch that series if you want to see how my days used to be before personal development. But yeah, get the 3 children. I was 2 children actually at the time into the car, and then some friends of mine did a sketch a few years ago. Again, the guys from Cahoots. Laura plays the mother, and the 2 lads are in the back seat, and they're pretending to be babies, like a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old boy. And myself and June and the children watch that clip sometimes, and it's like autobiographical to my life. Dylan's after dropping my thing on the ground, and like you're just like, pull over, get out, get the thing, get back in. Ah, jeepers! Maybe you could salvage a little piece of Liga or a little piece of toast for yourself to get you through until you might maybe got that biscuit at the mother and baby, the baby and mother and toddler group. You might get a biscuit at that. That was the breakfast. But oh God, how are they? Oh yeah, Claudia. So anyway, that girl, I said it to her the last day. I took the children, so we dropped our friends to school. It was Monday last week. We walked our friends to their school, and then we went up over the humpback bridge, where I went with that can of kerosene one time as well. And I said it to her. I goes, "You're still doing the school run?" And she goes, "I am." And she kind of was like, I said, "I used to live in this house here, and I'd meet you every morning." And she goes, "Oh my God, I remember you now." And she goes, "I see you've an extra one." And I was like, "Yeah, an extra one." It was lovely. It was like seeing a ghost from the past, But so Claudia, I would say definitely, and more than likely Joyce's. We more than likely met in Joyce's because I spent all my flipping time in Joyce's going to get stuff we've forgotten. So yeah, if you can go into a hypnotic state and remember back a fellow with a black jacket walking around every night with a little red-haired dog with earphones, that was me starting this company. That was me. I know all of Bob's stuff off by heart from walking around Athenry listening to it. Just changed my life. Basha, good morning. How are you? We'll be having our friends visiting soon. We'll be spending the day with them. Lovely, lovely. Good morning, Patrick Randalls. How are you, sir? I'm heading out your side of the country this morning, out to soccer match in Kenmare. Maria, have a great day, everyone. I'm grateful we have a lovely breakfast out as a family before the match. I'm grateful that Nave Martin won the senior final. Hansel Martins, Nave Martin. Joanne is here. How are you, Joanne? Good to see you. I hope yourself and your little lady are having a beautiful, magical morning in your beautiful new home. Sharon, I'm so grateful to be going to a rugby match this morning that my son is playing in. The first match with his new team. He'd requested a transfer from Leinster RFU denied. Wow. My husband was very annoyed, but I told him it was a done deal, and I visualized Nathan in his new team kit after an appeal with the full support of his old club. He got his transfer a few days ago. That's the way to do it. Ernestine Kingston. We should have our own little theme song for the Magic, and it's like, this is how we do it. You know the one. This is how we do it. That's it. We do it with gratitude, and we do it with a pep in our step, everybody. The wonderful Ernestine says, "I am so happy and grateful that my tax return will be done with ease and effort today." A bit of a slight discomfort reading that. I'm like, bookwork still gets to me. Padraig says, an under 13 hurling match at 11. Grateful it's not cancelled like it was this time last year. Lovely. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay, let's read some comments over here. Lucia Rowan. Good morning, Declan. Diriv Ermagin, greetings from sunny Kilkenny. God be with you this morning also. From sunny Kilkenny. Very nice. And she threw in a y'all, my business partner from America, you say. Y'all are coming to my house, y'all? Yeah, like the place in Cork, y'all. Y'all have a good day now, and y'all. All right. Good morning. We'll be having our friends visiting. Oh yeah, I've read that already. I've read that. Tax return. Linda. Good morning, Linda. I'm so grateful for this beautiful morning, lighting a big fire and snuggling with my daughter watching a movie. Oh, nice. Oh, sorry, that's not Linda's one. Linda's one is, I'm so grateful for the beautiful day that the sun will be shining for our breakfast where I'm getting time to spend with my husband. Oh, having been away all week, but that is lovely. You guys are like couples goals. You're a beautiful couple, look very, very together and very at peace with one another. It's nice to see. So I don't know who said this, but I like it. I'm grateful for the beautiful morning, lighting a big fire. I want to go and hang out with you guys. This sounds lovely. Snuggling with my daughter, watching a movie. That's a nice Sunday morning. I think the only thing that could make that better would be Nutella and banana pancakes. Apart from that, it's the best morning. That is the best morning right there. Teresa, good morning. I'm grateful for my session at the gym. Go on, Teresa. Maria, I have to go see you in the 6 a.m. club. Yes. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for the end of week 2. 14 days of this. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock we'll be good to go. And then Tuesday at 1. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm away at a Wim Hof retreat. So we might have some people substituting in to cover for me, bits and bobs along the way. I'll be. It's so funny. Like we went swimming last week we went to the Falls Hotel in Ennistimon on our way up to Galway. And I remember going through from the changing room into the pool, and you have to shower beforehand. And I pushed the button, and the water was cold. And I did this like, ooh. And I used to like do cold showers here even months ago, but it's like I've gotten not used to it now. I still do the breathing every day, the 11-minute breathing, but actually getting into the cold water immersion isn't something I'm doing. So yeah, June said to me last night after the kids went to bed, she held up the book. She goes like, "Are you prepared for this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm grateful. It's all going to work out fine." Because when you do the 11 minutes of breathing, if you try and do push-ups now, you might struggle. Like your arms might get shaking, unless it's Teresa, who's probably rocking out 50 push-ups. But if you're doing press-ups or push-ups, whatever you want to call them, and your hands and elbows start trembling after 15 or 20, you do the 11 minutes or 15 minutes of Wim Hof breathing. It's on YouTube. You could do 100 of them. It's incredible. Like, that's why he ran across the desert with no water. He climbed up Everest in a pair of shorts. It is superhuman stuff. So I know that after being in the care of the tour guide, or what you call him, the instructor, I'll get into that bath of ice, and I really am looking forward to it. Taking my mind to a new place, testing my limits again. And I think one of the sessions we're doing is there's a beach at the bottom of the Cliffs of Moher, I think. So we're hiking down to do an outdoor session of breathing and straight into the sea. So I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it, to be honest. Testing my limits and going for it, going against my conditions of my mind. Because when you get into cold, you freak out. I did it last week in Renville in Oranmore. I got in and I was kind of freaking out, but look, we were up late and we'd had a bit of wine and we'd had some, takeaway food, and I wasn't. It had some bad news as well come my way overnight, and I just wasn't in the best of form. So when I get into the water, I wasn't long getting back out again. So that body shock you feel, we're raised to have clothes and layers and skins and gloves and hats and scarves, and we're really conditioned that we have to keep this thing really warm all the time. This old meat and bone structure, but he talks a lot in the book about they put babies outside on the deck up in Scandinavia, just outside on the decking. They just wrap them up and stuff like that and put them outside. I don't know. He was talking about cold. Master your body when it comes to the cold. That'll be me now next week. Look, master the cold. So yeah, I'm excited to do it. So everybody, we'll see you tomorrow anyway. Tomorrow and Tuesday are as planned, 1:00 each day for the magic, and then probably someone will take over on Wednesday. So you have a beautiful Sunday, whatever you do, and thank you for being with us for 2 weeks. Over and out.